Hey everybody, it's me, Robert. Thought I'd say hello personally and say welcome to another version of strat-o-matic replay. It's all nice to say hello to everybody out there. And to this year we're going to do from the 1915 season something a little different. Now there was great stuff, okay, from the 1915 season, and if you take a look at the screen here, you'll see, so let's get to the screen, shall we? Let's have a look here. As you can see that in 1915 we had Ty Cobb again led the American League in batting average. Walter Johnson again led everything pretty much in wins. Boston had a great player by the name of Smokey Joe Wood. This guy could really pitch. He led in ERA. In the National League, before there was a little bit of Babe Ruth, there was Gavy Kravitz, Philadephia. As you can see, he led in home runs. He led in he also led in runs batted in as well. The New York Giants' Larry Doyle led in batting average. The thing about the 1915 season is that during this time, there were three leagues. You had the American League, the National League, and of course the Federal League. Now, for those of you who don't know the Federal League, it was like an upstart league because a lot of baseball players and managers got a little tired of how Major League Baseball was operating back then. They decided, we're going to join our own league. In 1915, the American League was led by the Boston Red Sox. The Philadephia Phillies won the National League. The Red Sox did win the World Series that year. And as we go to the Federal League, you'll see that a team called the Chicago Whales, who were actually playing in what would then be known as Wrigley Field. They were playing in Wiggaman Park, which was the name of it. They were playing in Wrigley Field before the Cubs moved in 1916. And I'm pretty much sure we're probably going to play a game from them in probably the next replay. In 1915, though, I think we want to do something a little special here. All right. I think what we're going to do is we're going to, a little backstory real quick. The Chicago Whales petitioned both the Red Sox and the Phillies to play a series against each other. All right. And basically the Red Sox and Phillies said, in not so many words, no. So the Chicago Whales never got a chance. Now, I've already looked a little bit of the roster that was on the Chicago Whales, and they had a couple of decent players on that roster. So I think what we're going to do today, for this special 1915 replay, we're going to play one game with the Chicago Whales. And since the Red Sox did win the World Series that year, we're going to bring back the Red Sox again. So let's have a look and see what we have here, shall we? And this here for 1915, we're going to have the Chicago Whales play the Boston Red Sox. This game I'm going to put in Fenway. I'm going to put it in Fenway Park. And I'm going to play the Red Sox. So I'm going to put the computer to the Federal League, the Whales. As you can take a look at their starting lineup, Mordecai Brown was on this team in 1915. Smokey Joe Wood pitched for the Boston Red Sox that year as well. It's a nice day for a game, they said, so I think that's going to be a good one today. So let's get it. Let's go ahead and play a game that the Whales wanted to play but didn't get a chance to do. We're not going to do a whole series, just one game to see how this team would stack up. So I present to you for the 1915 strat-o-matic replay, the 1915 Federal League winners, Chicago Whales, versus the 1915 World Series winners, Boston Red Sox.
Welcome to the stadium for today's ball game.
We're going to go to the top of the first here at Fenway Park once more. And let's have a look, of course, at the Red Sox pitcher. And that's going to be Joe Wood. Smokey Joe Wood, he was called. In 1915, 15 wins, 5 losses, 1.49 ERA. He even had a couple of saves. He was a darn good pitcher, all right, Smokey Joe Wood. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he could do against the Whales. So why don't we go ahead and get started. And leading off, and I'm going to move here, leading off here for the Chicago Whales is going to be Tex Wisterzil, or Wisterzil. I guess that's how you pronounce that. And let's see what he can do. Let's play. Play ball. And it starts with a line out to the first base, and that's your first out. And that will bring up Les Mann. Mann, it's a ground ball to third. Gardner makes the play, and that makes the second out. And I see I got the baseball thing here. I guess I got to fix that here. I don't want the, we don't need the show fly the ball. Forget that. All right. And now here's William Fisher. William Fisher hits a fly out to left to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the first inning, and pitching for the Chicago Whales is Mordecai Three-Finger Brown. In 1915, 17 wins, 8 losses, 2.09 ERA. And even though the Federal League only lasted a couple of years, he will return back to Major League Baseball, of course, after that. Three-Finger Brown. And this guy was excellent. Leading off for the Boston Red Sox will be Harry Hooper. He flies out to left. Mann makes the catch, 1 out. As I said, it's not a bad day here at Fenway Park as we go back to Boston. And here is Larry Gardner. Gardner walks. He'll go to first. And then that will bring up Tris Speaker. Speaker drives the ball to center for extra bases. And we're going to send Gardner. We're going to try to get here. The throw is coming home. The trailing runner advances. Gardner scores. And the Boston Red Sox are up 1-0. So just like that, the Red Sox get on the board. And Speaker comes through with a double. He, of course, takes third on the play. And now that brings up Duffy Lewis. Duffy Lewis, split card coming up. That's a pop out to short. And there's the second out. And now here's Doc Hoblitzel. There's another split card. That's a base hit. It's a single. Speaker scores from third, and it's 2-0 Red Sox. So the Chicago Whales are doing what they can here, but they're already behind early. Here's Jack Berry for the BOS Sox, and there's a line out to Farrell at second to retire the side. Boston 2, Chicago 0, top of the second. And here's Dutch Zwilling to lead it off. And this one is a fly out to center. Speaker makes an easy play, 1 out. Here's Max Flack. Strike out. 2 men down. And that will bring up now Fred Beck. Beck hits a single. Split card, 20 out. Sometimes these split cards don't move fast enough, I thought. And sometimes I sometimes wish strat-o-matic would maybe clean up the information on the cards sometimes. We go to the bottom of the second, 3 up and 3 down. Here is Pinch Thomas leading off for the BOS Sox. He lines out to Beck at first, 1 down. And that will now bring up Everett Scott. Scott walks, so the Red Sox get a runner on base, and now that brings up the pitcher, Smokey Joe Wood. Strike out, 2 men down. And now we have Harry Hooper. Split card coming up, fly out to right field, and the inning is over. We go to the third. Mickey Doolin, we lead off for the Whales. There's a line out to Hoblitzel. He makes the play, 1 down. And that will now bring up Jack Farrell. Farrell pops out to second. There's 2 men down. And now Mordecai Brown, Three-Finger. And Three-Finger pops out to Barry at second. An easy 3 up, 3 down inning for Joe Wood. And now here's Larry Gardner to lead it off for the Red Sox in the bottom of the inning. And he lines right out to Beck at first for the first out. Let's see what we got here. Here's Speaker. We all know what he can do. And there you go, clean double. Speaker will go ahead and take second on the double as he smacks one into center. And now Duffy Lewis will lead it off. Lewis is going to get a base hit, and I'm going to send Speaker. They're going to cut the throw off and allow it to score. It is now 3-0 Red Sox. And now here's Doc Hoblitzel. Hoblitzel grounds one to third base. Wisterzill will take the shore out at first. Lewis moves to second, but 2 men down now. And now we have Jack Barry. Barry hits a fly ball to left, and that will end the inning. Boston 3, Chicago 0, top of the 4th. And here's Tex Wisterzill. He grounds one to third. Gardner will easily make the play to first base for the first out. And now we will have less man. He grounds another one. Gardner getting some work today. That's the second out. And now here's William Fisher. Fisher strike out. And still 3 up, 3 down for the Whales. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Here's Pinch Thomas to lead it off for the Red Sox. There's a ground ball to Farrell at second. Farrell will make the play, 1 man down. And now we'll bring up Everett Scott. Scott, it's a fly ball to left. Mann will catch it easily. And now here's Smokey Joe. And he hits another fly ball to left, and Mann will make the catch. 3 up, 3 down, top of the fifth. Let's see. Dutch Zwilling lead it off for the Whales. There's a ground ball to short. Scott makes the easy play, throws over first, 1 out. And that will now bring up Max Flack. Fly ball to center field. Speaker makes the catch, 2 men down. And now here's Fred Beck. Split card comes up. It's a base hit. Beck will go to first. And the Chicago Whales get their first hit of the ball game. Smokey Joe Wood basically knows what he's doing on this case, doesn't he? Let's see what happens. We now go to Mickey Doolin. He lines out to second. Barry makes the play. And not much of a threat in that inning as we now go to the bottom of the fifth. And now we have Harry Hooper to lead it off. Hooper grounds one to Farrell at second. He'll make the play at first, 1 down. And here's Larry Gardner. Gardner, it's a single to left. Mann will get it back into the diamond. But the Red Sox get a man on first. Gardner's 75%. Let's see if I can get something going here. He's running, and he's thrown out. Oh, boy. Okay, Fisher throws him out cleanly at second. Gardner had no chance on that. 2 men down. And now we'll see Speaker. Split card coming up. That's a base hit. So Speaker gets on base. He'll go to first. Let's see if I can get Speaker to get over there. I'll attempt to steal on it. Let's see what he can do. He's running, and he's thrown out. So Whales catcher Fisher, well, he threw out 2 of my base runners. Sometimes I got to try to get something going, but didn't get anything going on that inning, did I? No runs come in, although I did get a couple of hits. We go to the 6th inning, and Jack Farrell leads it off against Smokey Joe. And that is a base hit. That's only the 2nd hit allowed by Wood. And now here's Three Finger Brown. He looks to bunt the ball, and it works. They get the out, but Farrell does go to second. And now we'll see Tex Wisderzil. There's a ground ball to second. Barry will make the play. Farrell goes to third, but there's now 2 men down. And now it will be Les Mann coming up. Pop fly ball to first. Hoplitzel with the catch. And the threat is down. Bottom of the 6th. We got Duffy Lewis coming up. Lewis smacks a fly out to center. Zwilling with the catch. 1 down. And we'll see Doc Hoplitzel. There's a walk. So the Red Sox get the man on first. And Fisher with that arm obviously throwing out 2 of my base runners. But I'm a masochist. Let's see if I can get him to see if he can get something going here. He can't get the lead, so now we won't attempt. And now I'll let Jack Barry swing away. And that is going to be a beautiful base hit to left. We'll hold the runners. And so now we have runners at first and second for Boston. And that will bring up Pinch Thomas. Thomas, it's a line out to first. That's the 2nd out. And now here's Everett Scott for the Red Sox. Ground ball to second. Farrell makes the easy play, and the inning is over. At the end of 6, it's the Boston Red Sox 3 and the Federal League Chicago Whales 0. As I told you, we are playing a special exhibition game between the Chicago Whales of the Federal League and the Boston Red Sox who won the World Series in 1915. And a nice day here at Fenway. William Fisher will lead it off for the Whales in the top of the 7th. This looks pretty good. Nope, it's a fly out to left. Lewis makes the catch, 1 down. And that will now bring up Dutch Zwilling. Willing, it's a ground ball to third. Can Gardner make the play? Yes, he can. Over to first, second out. And now we shall see Max Flack. That's a split. Line out to first, and the inning is over. Let's have a look at the trivia. In 1970, Tom Seaver struck out 10 consecutive batters. Who was the catcher, and what standard did he set in the game? Well, as a Mets fan, you think I should know this? Let's see. Tom Seaver, and who was the catcher, and what standard did he set in the game? Well, unfortunately, in 1970, though, I was 1 year old. So, I think my knowledge might be a little bit off. Let's see. Jerry Grody. 10 consecutive putouts, a major league record. Tom Seaver, the only Mets pitcher in the Hall, the only Mets pitcher wearing a Mets cap in the Hall of Fame. And now, of course, Mike Piazza, best, I think, in my opinion, the best hitting catcher in baseball history, is now in there wearing a Mets cap. Why Gary Carter is not in there wearing a Mets cap, I guess you have to ask Cooperstown. I don't get that at all. I really don't. Let's go to the bottom of the seventh inning. 3-0, still Boston here. It is Joe Wood leading off against Mordecai Brown. Fly ball to right. Flack will make the play, 1 down. And that will bring up Harry Hooper. Ground ball to first. And that is the second out. And now Larry Gardner will come up. Gardner grounds 1 to second. And it's a quick 3-up and 3-down inning. We go to the 8th. As Joe Wood will now be pitching to Fred Beck. He's only given up 2 hits today. There's a fly ball to right. Hooper will make the catch, 1 out. And now we shall see Mickey Doolin. Joe Tinker is going to bring in himself. Okay, so let's have a look at him, shall we? Joe Tinker, in 1915, a .269 average, no homers, 9 RBIs. Joe Tinker. He was the manager of the team. And let's see how he does. He calls his own number. And he lines right out to short. 2 men down. And now we shall see Jack Farrell. Farrell hits a base hit. And he will go to first. So that is only the 3rd hit for the Whales. And now Three Finger Brown is the batter. And he's going to bring in Raleigh, I guess it's pronounced Zider. And let's have a look at him. Raleigh Zider, in 1915, .227 average, no homers, 34 RBIs. Not much of a ringer card, I guess. Let's see what Wood does. Split card comes up a line out to second, and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Joe Tinker is going to bring in Bill Bailey to pitch, and we'll have a look at him. Bill Bailey, in 1915, 8 wins, 20 losses, a 4.27 ERA. That's a high ERA for the dead ball era. All right, and 20 losses. So, I don't know. We'll see what he can do. How about Tris Speaker to lead off for the Red Sox? How about him hitting a ground ball to second, and Farrell will make the play to first, 1 out. And now we see Duffy Lewis. Lewis is plunked. He'll go to first. And that will bring up Doc Hoblitzel. That's a pretty good insurance run. 60%, not much of a threat. I'm going to let Hoblitzel hit. He hits a ground ball to Tinker at short. He can't make the play. It's going to be an error. And now you have runners at first and second coming up, and here is Jack Barry. Jack Barry hits a long fly to left. Mann will make the catch, and that will be the second out, and now we have Pinch Thomas batting. Thomas walks. Bases are loaded for Everett Scott, and you know, when bases are loaded, I always like to take a look at the batter. Everett Scott, in 1915, .201 average, no homers, weak power. We're not expecting much out of him, but let's see if he can come through in a little bit of a clutch. Nope, lines out to first to end the inning. 8 innings are gone by. It is still 3-0. The Chicago Whales wanted to play the Boston Red Sox in a little series to say that the Federal League was the better league, and right now the Red Sox saying, are you kidding me? Tex Wisterzel is leading off, and yes, I will let Joe Wood continue to pitch. There's a ground ball to third. Gardner makes the play, 1 out. Yes, and if people are wondering, yes, Babe Ruth is on this team, and yes, Babe Ruth had a heck of a year that year too. He had, for anybody wants to know, for people who want, I'll tell you what, let's take a look at that real quick. I can take a look at the home team lineup. And Babe Ruth that year in 1915, 18 wins, 8 losses, a 2.44 ERA. Babe Ruth had a heck of a year. All right, so for those of you who are wondering how well he did that season, I submit to you 18-8. He also did hit his first major league home run that year as well. And I guess it was off a Yankee pitcher. Here is Les Mann. Mann's going to get himself a triple. So the Whales have a man on third, and it will bring up William Fisher. Fisher hits a sac fly to center. That will score the run. So the shutout is gone, but it's 3-1 now. And now Dutch Swilling is the last chance for the Whales. Ground ball to first. Hoblitzer will make the play, and that is the ball game. So the Boston Red Sox defeat the Chicago Whales 3-1 in a matchup of Major League World Series champion versus Federal League champion. I actually thought this would be a good idea to do it since, it wasn't done, and I wonder how the Whales would have done. I think the Chicago Whales would have just gotten either in a best of 7 against the Red Sox that year, the 1915 Red Sox team, which was, they won over 100 games. I'm going to say the Whales might have maybe won. I'm going to say the Red Sox probably would have won it in 5. I could play out a whole series, but I'm going to say I think Boston would have won it in 5. And if anybody wants to disagree, please feel free to write. Let's have a look at the box score, shall we? Box score shows the Red Sox with a 3-1 win. Tris Speaker was 3 for 4. He was the big man with an RBI. Lewis and Hoblitzel each had an RBI. Tris Speaker definitely was the best man at the plate. There's no doubt about it. Joe Wood will get the win. He only gave up 1 earned run, only struck out 2 batters. And Three Finger Brown takes the loss, and he struck out a batter and gave up 3 earned runs. So let's have a look at the rest here. Let's see. Tinker had an error. Mann had a triple, but there were no home runs in this game. Well, as I thought this would be fun to play. A Federal League game against the World Series champion that year, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And again, it was very nice to say hello to every one of you out there. So this is Robert signing off from another edition of Strat-o-matic Replay. I hope you had fun. Once again, final score is the Red Sox 3 and the Chicago Whales in the Federal League 1. Catch you later, people.